What's up, you guys? Welcome to day number 6 of Spring Around 2022, an ephemera challenge that is inspired by spring. As you guys know, my friends and I usually do an annual spring hop of some sort, but last year with all of the craziness that was going on, we decided to take a break. But we are back this year with a new name and lots of inspiration. So basically how it works is every single day you will get an instructional video on YouTube, and every day you're going to hop from one channel to the next. And let me show you. This challenge is hosted by my friend Priscilla at ReleasetheCraftin. Every single day you have a different creator, and she has made up a list of prompts for us to follow. So every day you will also get a word prompt. So for today, I am the word green, and you will catch me every Sunday. So for the word green, I was thinking of the new leaves that grow on the trees, the new sprouts coming up from different seeds, and just the world turns from the browns and the whites of winter and comes into the new growth of spring. And as you guys know, I love to work with fabrics and different textiles and things, so I have a ton of scraps, and I wanted to make a little piece of ephemera that I could use those scraps to create. And so I'll show you guys what I came up with. Before I go, I did make this box to hold all of my Spring Hop Challenge creations. So I believe this is the third or fourth year that we've done this, and I never really had a place to put those things. And going with the theme of the challenge of using up your scraps, or just things that you have a lot of and you don't use a lot, flowers are one of those items. I have a ton of flowers, and so I just wanted to decorate it really pretty so I could set it on one of my shelves in my craft room, and inside it will hold an example of my creations. So this is one of the first things that I ever made. This was 2018. So I did a tag that year, and I've kind of squished it in there. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys that really quick. If you maybe want to grab some stuff that you haven't used in a while, grab some scraps and make a little box or an envelope or a pouch that you can put your little items in, and you can go back and be inspired every single year by those items. I just used a regular old wooden box. I placed some feet on the bottom. This is a little piece from the Dollar Tree, like a wooden sign, and I've lifted up and added the title with Tim Holtz's little chip letters. So yeah, that is the box that I made to hold all of my spring challenge items. So now let's get into creating. Okay, so here are some examples of the items that I've created so far. I really thought that these leaf dangles were a fantastic idea to add to your journal pages, or you can add these to your charms that you make, or to paper clips. I thought they would be really pretty hanging off of the side of a journal on a paper clip. So all I've done is I've used some scraps of cardstock, because anytime I print out ephemera or anything, I will keep the larger pieces. So that's the first item you will need to make those. You will also need your fabric scraps. And all I've done is gone through my scrap boxes and grabbed a bunch of green items, or if you don't have any green items, you can always get white or neutral and spray it with some spray, watercolor, paint it however you would like to make your green scraps. So the first thing that I made, a bookmark of sorts, or you could also use this as a trim. And so yeah, basically using the same concept, I cut out leaf shapes from some cardboard scraps, glued on fabric on each side, and these in particular I used all scraps of sari silk. So the main idea I had was to make these leaf dangles. So I've just added an eyelet here and a large jump ring. I've made a couple of dangles, and this one I'll be using in a garden journal. So I've got this adorable little charm here of some peas in a pod. Thought that was so cute. And then like this one, I've just added a butterfly. And then this one has a leaf charm on it. And a mushroom. And I'm also able to use up a lot of like bead and jewelry pieces that I have in my stash. So now I'm going to show you guys how I made this one. You're going to need a scrap piece of cardstock. You're going to need to choose what type of fabric you would like to use. I think I'm going to use this really cool like satin fabric. And then I've also got this one that I like. And I grabbed these like textured ribbon pieces because I thought they would be fun for layering over the top. I've got some lace. Nope, not that one. Maybe this one. We'll do this one. So I've got a piece of mesh that I've dyed with some sprays, some scrap fabric. So all you need to do is draw out your leaf shape onto the piece of cardstock, and you don't have to use cardstock, but I prefer to do so because it's, you know, it's a lot thicker, and I feel like it gives you a sturdier leaf. And also with the cardstock in the center, you can curl up the edges if you wanted to kind of make it more 3D. Like you could even curl the edges like this. And since you have that paper in the middle, you can make it more of an organic shape, which is pretty cool. So now that I have my leaf shape cut out, I'm just going to use some regular tacky glue. And I'm going to glue my leaf to the fabric. And I'm going to do a different one on each side. You don't have to use fabric glue if you don't have it. You could use a glue stick if you wanted to, if you're going to sew the edges on the sewing machine. But if you're not, I would suggest a better glue. So I'm just going to glue that straight to the fabric. And then I'm going to cut the shape around, and I am going to leave a bit of an edge around it just to have some extra. So I'm going to cut that out and I'll be back. So I've cut out the fabric around the shape of the leaf, and I did leave a bit of extra space on the edges, which will come in handy if you are sewing it, and if you aren't, that'll give you the ability to close and seal up these edges around the paper if you don't want it to show. So now all I'm going to do is take my second fabric and glue it onto that one and then cut it out, and then I will show you how to add the mesh to add some extra texture. Okay, so I've glued the satin fabric on the other side. And I've decided not to sew this one on the sewing machine. And so when I was telling you guys about that extra allowance along the edges, that really comes in handy if you don't have a sewing machine, because I know many people may not have one. And so you can kind of see the creases of the bit of extra space, and I was sure to glue that together. It's going to keep it from fraying too much if you don't want it to fray, which I don't really mind a bit of fraying, but it'll just keep that paper inside and you won't be able to see any white lines from the paper. So I've decided to have the satin fabric as the top of my leaf, and I used this darker fabric on the bottom, and a lot of leaves in nature are like that. And all I'm going to do is cut out a rough shape of this mesh fabric to go along the top of the leaf. And I don't want it to be like perfectly like the shape. I like for it to have a bit of texture and like wildness, I guess. I just like the look of that. So just gonna cut a bit of this out so that it fits onto the leaf. And and then I'm just going to glue this onto the top of the leaf because it is a mesh fabric. I think what I did with this one was I glued in a line as if the veins of the leaf were coming out. And that way when it dries, if you can still see the glue, it'll be in the pattern of the leaf veining, which I think would be pretty cool. So I've just got that glue on there, and I'm just going to lightly tap the mesh over the top. And that is basically it. So you're going to wait for it to completely dry, and then I will show you what to do next. Okay, so the mesh was dry, and for basically no other reason than the fact that I love extra. And being extra, I guess, I hand embroidered some veining on the leaves. Since I wasn't going to use the sewing machine, I really felt like it needed something more. So it's really wonky and definitely looks handmade, but I think it adds that extra bit of something to it. So now all we have to do is add our eyelet. So I think I'm gonna keep with my theme of gold and use a gold one. Just gonna poke my hole here, and I did leave some space here at the bottom of the leaf for the hole so that it doesn't overlap with the embroidery. And just pop that off there. So I'm just going to add my eyelet and my jump ring, and we can call it done. Wow, I actually did it okay the first time. I have a lot of trouble with my crocodile because it's like kind of broken. And so I find that a lot of my eyelets get smushed sometimes when I'm adding them, but this one came out okay. So I'm just going to add a large jump ring, and then all I have to do if I want to is add a charm to this like I did with these guys, and that is it. All you have to do is attach these to a paper clip. Here, I'll grab one so you guys can see what it looks like. And you have an absolutely adorable little embellishment to add a little something to the pages of your journals. So you can also use these on the charms that you make for your journals if you do that. You can use these with mixed media projects and so on and so forth. So I cannot wait to see what you guys make. I want to see your little leaf dangles. Please do not forget to use the hashtag SpringAround22 if you post your work so that you can be entered into the giveaway, and just to share inspiration with other creators. I'll have all the links down below in the description box for you guys. Tomorrow is Priscilla, and I am super excited to see what she's making for tomorrow. And I will see you guys next Sunday for my next installment of the Spring Around Ephemera Challenge. And we're going to be doing something really fun. I think you're going to like it. Hopefully. So yeah, I will catch you guys soon. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Please don't forget to spread the love. Bye.